Welcome, world, to Life, Love, and Wellness Global, a worldwide wellness movement. I am Reverend Sandy Rogers, and as the creator of this historic event, it is my pleasure to welcome you. We come together to bring you this historic event. We have practitioners, holistic practitioners, we have medical doctors, we have spiritual individuals. This event is so lovingly dedicated to my mother, Mrs. Barbara Dean Brown. And my mother taught me like 40 plus years ago about the importance and the meaning behind herbs. And she would always say, we don't know what they putting in those pills, so you better not, get hooked on prescription drugs. And so we listened to Mom, but not all of us paid attention. My sister, bless her heart, was diagnosed recently thereafter with asthma, and she was prescribed prednisone, which is a very powerful steroid. And my sister actually got hooked on steroids, like someone out on the street kind of hooked, like on heroin or crack or something like that. And so my mom and my sister are both on the other side, living in the other dimension, but they're upholding me, and this is dedicated to their memory. So we don't want to come and make you change your mind about what you're doing. We just want to provide information to you, something different, so that you have options to choose from, so that you're not stuck. Because the environment that we now live in, the fast foods, the toxins in the air that we breathe and in the water that we drink, and the processed foods, and all of that is causing havoc on this precious body temple. So God created our bodies to heal themselves, but they can only heal themselves when they're fed and they're nourished and they're stress-free. And so the 60 or so or more experts that we have are bringing you this worldwide wellness movement in an attempt to share their testimonies and their information with you. So we have from age 14 on up. I don't even know what the oldest age is. I think 88 or something. So you see, that's a wide range of knowledge that we're bringing you. And so we hope that you come and that you get all the knowledge that you need to affect a positive change on your life, and share this with others. It's free, it's online, and so we're just so thankful that you decided to be a part of our listening community, the viewing community, and we certainly appreciate you for giving us your time of day and your energy and your efforts to being with us and to being a part of this historic event. We have pulled together people of color for you, by you, right? So we want to make sure that you understand that we too, melanated people with color, can enjoy, practice, and participate in some of these modalities that others have been doing for centuries, and that is pretty new to our community. So we talk about Qigong, we talk about meditation, yoga, spiritual work from a different perspective than religion. So we talk about the spirituality aspect. We talk about abuse in the families. We talk about all kinds of subjects because we know that in our communities there are layers and layers and layers and layers of stuff that we never talk about that's causing a negative effect on our bodies and its healing process. So we address it, whatever it is, and we hope that you will benefit from the many experts that we have, and that you walk away with lots of knowledge and lots of new information, and that you become fully empowered to share information with others. So thank you for being with us. We love you and we bless you, and we look forward to doing this again. But thanks for being here with the first one. We appreciate you.
Life, love, and wellness. Life, love, and wellness.
today I have the honor of interviewing my son, Malcolm Tyson. And I'm going to let him give a description of who he is and how he shows up in the world so that you get to know him from his perspective. Malcolm?
From my perspective, oh wow, okay. Came in this world from California. 42 years old, father of an 18-year-old daughter, and I like to run a little bit. When I say run a little bit, I like to participate in marathons, half marathons, 10Ks. I like to test my endurance, like to strength train, and like to give back. You see from the little band-aid on my arm, gave a little blood this morning, well this afternoon. Always trying to give back, trying to make the world a better place than how I found it. And that's pretty much Malcolm Tyson.
All right, great, thank you. So what motivated you to begin running?
What motivated me to begin running was seeing my aunt, Janice, go through some health complications, and at the end of her life, she was really taking a turn to get healthier and was at the gym a lot, and she clowned me. She took me to her little senior gym and just talked about me, said, Mac, you gotta do better. You gotta take care of your health. You have to invest in your health. And my auntie knows everything, so of course I had to do something. So I started going to the gym. Instead of just lifting weights, I started trying to actually get some cardio in on the treadmill. And this older guy, Caucasian, was next to me on the treadmill, and he dusted me. And I'm a competitive person, and I just could not, I couldn't let it end that way. So 15 full marathons later, that's why I run.
15. Wow. So were you always athletic?
Never athletic as a child. Didn't play any high school sports or middle school sports. Elementary ran track, but it was just an activity. Really wasn't organized or something to do. Never got any type of training, official training or anything like that. So no, I was never athletic as a child.
Okay. And before we really get into the marathons, I know that a few years ago, you and a group of your fellow runners were in and out of the inner city communities or the neighborhoods.
Yes.
And so what prompted that, and what was the purpose and the intention behind that?
A friend of mine went to school in Nashville, and I was going to run a marathon in Nashville. So he came up with me, and I think it's a 4 or 5 hour car ride. So we, really got to chatting and talking. And on the way back, he had this vision that he wanted to start running instead of just on the suburban trails. He wanted to take into the inner cities and let them see that we run the inner cities as well, because that's who we are. So that's what we did. It started off a few of us, I think maybe 3-4 people in the beginning, and the word just spread like wildfire. People still talk about it to this day and ask always, hey, when you guys want to do the neighborhood runs? At first we was calling it the hood runs because it was inner city, but then we changed it up and said, let's be a little bit broader and call it a neighborhood run. And when I say we ran past plenty of strip clubs, liquor stores, fast food, chicken spots on every other corner, and the love we received was just tremendous. Older guys, older women, younger generation, everybody was just in awe of us actually running, not running from something, but just being physically active in our neighborhoods. It's not really seen in this day and age.
Yeah, that's a good example that you were able to set and that's one of the main reasons behind this webinar is to familiarize people with other ways that they can take care of themselves and live a healthier lifestyle. And so you say that people were applauding you because they hadn't really ever noticed that or hadn't seen that before.
I think people feel like the inner cities aren't safe to run in. Another reason why I took up running, because I'm cheap and it's very affordable. All you need is good shoes, and really that's it. You can get into a little bit more of the gear, but nobody was running in the inner city. Nobody's seen, it was around the parks in the suburban areas where people felt like it was safe. So we just wanted to show, especially in numbers, that it was safe for men and women to run in the inner city. And that was the whole thing. You don't see that. I frequent the inner city and I don't see people running at any time. Or if they are running, they're not doing it for physical activity. They're doing something dangerous or of a criminal aspect. So to see people run for fun is just what we want to show. The camaraderie between us, how we would I think energy doesn't go away. And when we brought that positive energy amongst ourselves, it went into the neighborhoods and came back. People supporting us, giving us high fives, honking their horns. It was, the love was something that you just can't duplicate. To get ready for the marathon, I didn't spend any money at all. I did my own research, got on Google, looked up training plans, and it all started from a 5K, which is 3.1 miles. And when I ran my first 5K, I didn't tell anybody. I had a broken hand at the time. I ran my first 5K with a cast on, and I was so excited and pumped after that then for my next race, I invited my mom and my daughter. And from there, I went from a couch, it was called a couch to 5K program for the 5K. And then my friends started getting behind me and chokes me up. Because they saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And they saw that I was stronger than I gave myself credit for. They said, Mac, you can do it. You can do anything. And I did. I went from that first 5K, 3.1 miles, stretched it out a couple times, got some 10Ks, which is 6.2 miles, ran a couple of those under my belt, and a year to the date from my first 5K, I ran at 26.2 miles. And if you can survive running for 26.2 miles, you can do anything. And nothing has stopped me since. It's just mind state. Whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. And that's that.
That seemed to be such a character builder, a motivator, like a inspiration when you set goals, to be able to bring that confidence from doing those races in. And obviously it was something that you hadn't expected to be a byproduct.
I think it was the inner peace when you're alone for hours at a time. It took me 4 hours and almost 4.5 hours to run my first marathon. So when you're training and you start going over, 30 minutes, and it's a lot of time to think, a lot of time to appreciate nature. It's a lot of time just to appreciate life. As you're running, you see on the trails, you see cyclists, you see babies, you see birds, you see wildlife, you smell. It's a whole body experience because it's running is just putting one foot in front of the other and to keep going. So it's really nothing to learn. It's just to keep going. And when you feel like you can't go, you might slow down, walk a little bit, and then you keep going. And it's marathon running is life. Is until you expire, you just keep putting one foot in front of the other and see how far you can go. And that's what I love about marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not how fast I can get 50 yards. It's, do I have the endurance, the mental fortitude to stop when my whole body is saying, this is enough. Why are we doing this? You keep going. And that's my life motto now. Keep going. I have asthma. It flares up from time to time. I have an inhaler that I have to use. On my very first 20-mile run, I hit the wall, and I was got real weak, and but I did that 20 miles. So I set a doctor's appointment. Went to the doctor, had all of my blood work run, urine run, and basically I didn't eat enough. So I had to learn to balance the nutrition with the running. And that is really when I knew I was unstoppable then, when it was just bring some peppermints with you. And it's inexpensive things. You don't have to carry or buy the brand name gels and different things. You can make your own stuff. And I found out that a bagel and a banana before I ran, keep a couple bananas. And I mean, bananas are like, 50, 60 cents a pound. Very cheap. But it's all you need. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I mean, on that 20-mile run, when I started feeling fatigued and lightheaded, I had my daughter make me a peanut butter jelly sandwich by the time I came home. Came home, ate that peanut butter jelly sandwich, and hot shower, and it's good to go. Ready to do it again. The finish line is it's really the end of your hard work. For the first marathon, it took me a year to train. Now, I say it takes about 12 to 16 weeks to get in marathon shape. And so the finish line is I could do anything. I could do anything, because only 1% of the population, 1% complete a marathon. So when you put yourself in, say, only 1% has done this, it puts yourself in a mental, I'm unstoppable. I did it. I did what 99% of the population don't do. And you just, it's a legal high. It's a runner's high. And it's very addictive. The running the marathons, you have to pay an entrance fee. So I stopped doing that as of late, and now I just run for fun. I still might do, we haven't really done any long runs lately, but I like to give back. I've been volunteering more lately. Had a all women's race that I volunteered at a couple of weeks ago. Volunteering at this one is for children, doing a children's run this weekend that I'm volunteering for. So I just like to give back to the community, seeing other people do it. I think I've accomplished everything that I want to accomplish. So now I just want to share the love, the health benefits that you get from it, the mental benefits that you get from it, and just try to share that with younger generation or people that's not acclimated, or so I just like to give back.
And when you say that, I know you have several friends that, like when I first meet them, they'll be like, yeah, because Malcolm, I was on the run and I was stopping. And then here come Malcolm slapping me on my back. So you're known as the motivator out there on the track or the route, when you guys be running. And that means so much to the people that have shared the stories with me.
Well, I think 9 times out of 10 when people run, they make these ugly faces that, it looks painful, and I never want to be that guy. I never, out of all of and I have a few race photos, I never am frowning. I never look like I'm in pain. It's a battle. It's a battle. This is you versus unhealthiness, and it's a war, so I play to win. I'm very competitive, but I just don't want to win personally. I want us all to win. So if I can encourage someone, because we're all competitive, whether it's female or male, we're all competitive. So the story my mom was talking about, it was a 10-mile race, and this guy was beating me for 9 miles. So, he started to walk at about the 9-mile mark. And I let him know, we don't walk, we run. And we finish strong, and see, that's that love.
Yeah.
It's really love.
Yeah.
Genuine. When I first started running, I'd never really seen people that looked like me. It was a few scattered here and there, but I never seen people that looked like me. So I did a little research, and it was a couple of organizations. Well, it really wasn't. No, it was some running groups, but there wasn't any minority-based running groups at the time. And then they sprouted up, and they kind of were a little too cliquish for me. So I joined for a little while, and then I left it alone. Because the battle, as I call it, that I do when I run is personal. It's individual. It's not something that it's not a group sport. We don't. But I got some good friends that are in organizations, and some of them are very loyal to their organizations, and they stay with one another the whole while. But I just like to, do things my own way. So sometimes I might had a friend that never ran 13.1 miles, which is the half marathon. So he said, "Hey man, would you run with me?" So sometimes I'll slow down to help other people achieve their goals, because I know I can do it. But the bond you get from reaching back and having someone else accomplish some goals that they didn't think that they could do, it's powerful. And it's that good karma. It just keeps coming back to bless me over and over again. I paced a friend this past weekend it was just a little 5K, but it meant the world to them. And something as, I probably could have finished it in 20 something minutes, but we slowed down and walked a little bit. But that comfort that they got, it helped them out. So it helps me out.
So it's not just a sport. From what you're saying,
it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's a brotherhood, a sisterhood. When the friends that I got that do run, we run in different states. I just had a friend that finished doing the 6 major marathons, which is Boston, New York, Tokyo, Berlin. I can't remember the other ones, but people are going international, going to Paris, I had a friend run in Africa. I mean, wherever there's wherever there's people are running at and running marathons. I mean, it's no limit. Yeah, it's not just running. It could be addictive. It could get expensive, but the bonds, the friendships that you make when you're in the trenches with these people, I think it's gonna last forever. I'm relatively new. What it's been 4 or 5 years. I stopped counting. I think it's been like 4 or 5 years now since I first put on my first pair of shoes. Learned a lot, and continue to keep going. I want to be that old person slapping people on the butt. I've been running a little while. Okay.
So, as we go through this and the experiences to help people to be better, get better, stay better, is there any advice that you would give, especially to the younger individuals like yourself, as far as
40's young now?
well, yeah,
Okay.
or younger.
When I felt young, I felt 40 was old. But okay, 40 years
So
old.
now
Okay.
you think you're old?
Yeah, I'm an old man.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I got a grown college daughter. Yeah, I'm an old man.
Okay, old man.
So when you say young, I'm thinking adolescent. I'm thinking high school, college age, and that was the second part of the blueprint that my friend had. But he was working on his PhD, so we kind of slowed down to accomplish his goal, which he just accomplished a couple of weeks ago. So the second part of that, running in the neighborhoods and in the inner city, was going out to these colleges, and instead of drinking and partying, showing some type of healthiness lifestyle. And so that was the other thing. We just wanted to be healthier. I don't think it's a such thing as you have to eat or diet or this, that, and other. Just be healthier than what you are already. And that's pretty much, so for the young people, do something. You know, whether it's a meatless Monday and giving up meat or drinking more water. I think if you try to do too much at one time, you won't stick with it. So find something that you enjoy. You know, I enjoy running. I really don't like it. It hurts, but it's cheap. I love the peace that it brings. I love that runner's high. And so I'm going to continue to, I guess it would be a sport. I guess you would call running a sport. So I will continue to be an ambassador to the sport of running and to try to spread it as far as it can go, because the benefits are abundant and it's awesome.
So did you think about the benefits when you first started? Or you just started because of your auntie?
I started because of my aunt, and as I was going through the process, especially on those first long runs, we would have conversations. She wouldn't talk back, but auntie, I was like, auntie, why you got me doing this, you know? And she never let me down. No, I didn't think about the how big some of the things that we were doing, because I feel like I'm just a part of the community. I'm just one person, but it's a whole running community, and I got friends in just about any city I want to go to visit. I have friends there to run with, to if nothing else, grab a bite to eat. So it's become family. I don't even call them friends anymore. These are my sister, brothers, cousins. Got some crazy uncles and some aunties, and you know, it's family. This is not just. And I guess that's one of the biggest things that I learned is I expanded my family. I can't even tell you how many family members I have now. It's absurd, the number of people I know in different cities that try to get me to come to different events and always trying to spend my money. But like I said, I got a daughter in college, so I had to slow that down.
Well, thank you, Malcolm. Was there anything else you want to share with the audience before we wrap it up?
Live your best life. Always try to be a better you. And don't stop until you can't. That's it.
Well, thank you so much, son.